welcome to the Hubfish Show, where you can get ideas to help you grow your eco-conscious business. And today I'm really excited to be joined by Amy Greenwald from Blue Raspberry Design, and we're talking about sustainable design, web and print. So welcome, Amy. Really great to have you on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me here.
And I know you come all the way from the USA, and it is very early morning for you. So I really appreciate you coming on the show live. It's fantastic.
Yes, one day bright and early won't kill me.
Excellent. So Blue Raspberry Design is a green graphic design, web and branding studio. And as a designer, Amy's mantra is to be imaginative but not overwhelming, and simple yet bold. And she truly believes that sustainability is the only way forward, much like myself. So it's really great to sort of talk to someone in the kind of same realm and sort of service that we're offering, although it's slightly different. It's really good to talk to someone else in this area. So what, for you, how would you describe green web design in a nutshell?
Yeah, so green web design is really web design that keeps planet and people in mind. Every website has its own carbon footprint. It maybe isn't anything crazy, like if you lower your own website carbon footprint, not going to save the world, but it helps because, servers use so much energy. So really trying to lower that amount of energy that's being used, but then also the people part comes in because we're saving the planet for the people. So if we're not designing for people, then what's the point? So really looking at accessibility, both with disabilities, internet speeds, and so many more things, because environmental justice and human rights are very intertwined to me. So really putting the focus on both.
Right, okay, that's really good. Yeah, I think it's one thing, I've spoken a bit about this to a few people, and they go like, oh my goodness, what's eco-hosting? Oh, I didn't really know that it took up so much energy. And a lot of people as well don't think about that accessibility part. So I think that's really nice that you're sort of including that part in as well. And I know as well you offer green graphic design and print. So I wanted to ask you, what are your top 4 things that you consider when printing?
Yeah, so the top one I would say is to print locally, because that automatically cuts down on transport. You don't have to send your files to a printer halfway around the world and have them ship all of your materials to you. So local to the client of where they live, because it doesn't do any good if I'm printing by me and my client is in, like, maybe it's you, and then shipping it over wouldn't be the greatest. But the second most important thing is paper or material choice, because that's where the bulk of like the printed thing is that material. So using either 100% recycled paper or tree-free paper, so recycled cotton, bamboo, hemp, straw. There's a lot of really different paper materials out there now. The third thing would be to avoid extra finishing. So avoiding that soft touch finish, because that actually puts a layer of plastic on paper. Avoiding metallic foils, those once they're on paper can't be recycled at most recycling centers. Some like industrial ones can, but those aren't like readily accessible either. And then other plastic finishes like UV spot coatings and whatnot. Anything that really puts that plastic or foil on the paper just won't be recyclable. And then lastly is, if you can print with plant-based ink, that's going to be better than your traditional petroleum-based ink. But again, not every local printer has it. So if your local printer doesn't have it, it's still better to print local with petroleum-based than to find a place that does plant-based.
Oh, wow, that's some really, really good tips. I think that's something people probably wouldn't even think about, especially like, the laminate, like you're saying, given that soft touch finish, it's actually laminate plastic and you can't recycle it. And I know, years ago, that was the choice, an option everyone wanted, and it tended to be the cheapest as well. So when you went to get, it was always deals on laminate cards. And since sort of finding out, well, actually that, that's plastic, that's not good, you can't recycle it. I've been going, it might be a little bit more expensive, but going down the route of not using that at all, and trying to find kind of local printers that use eco prints and all of that. I didn't know about the foil as well, so that's a really good point as well. You know, a lot of people try and go fancy. Is that the same with embossing as well then?
No, embossing and debossing and letterpress are all really, really good, eco-friendly. You can still recycle them options.
Yeah, yeah.
As long as I guess maybe some embossing processes do like add that little bit of gloss or something, so maybe avoid those. But like just embossing the paper with no extra is perfectly good.
Yeah. And so I think as well, because you take away maybe those sort of shiny elements and that you as a designer have to come up with a lot more creative ways of making those printed business cards and everything like that a lot more. You've got to get really creative and make it sort of more like wow and pop out as well, I guess.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking to find out about the foils because those are definitely very much can be showstoppers. But something like 90% of business cards are like thrown away within the first week of you handing them out. So it's like actually such a huge waste. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think people are doing a lot of it now, but obviously
No.
we'll get back to when we sort of printing has stopped a lot. But I know the printers have found sort of other ways of making money. But yeah, so it will be interesting to see when we go back. Yeah, some really good ideas and tips there. So what are some simple tips that a business can take to be more green today?
Yeah. So when I was thinking about this, I don't know if this counts as a simple answer, but this is my answer. So I think really the best steps is to just kind of look at where you're at in your business and find the easy ways that you can improve. So, you don't have to go 100% paperless. I'm not 100% paperless in my business. I like paper. But maybe instead of using normal notebooks, you buy some recycled paper notebooks. Maybe you fill your printers and copiers with sugar sheet paper. Maybe you look at your pens and you start buying sustainable refillable pens. So I think some small things like that are really easy and they make you feel good too of like choices. And then that kind of snowballs from there. And then maybe you end up moving your website to a renewable energy server. Maybe when you can afford it, you end up using solar panels to power your business. Dream of mine when that happens. But yeah, I would say look at all your necessities, see where you can improve, and see what non-necessities you can potentially cut. But I still think convenience is important to a certain degree, which is why I continue to use paper.
I know a lot of small business owners, and they do, I was asking about project management tools, and a lot of them say notepad and pencil, or a wall calendar or something like that. So I know people still like that, but as you say, there are so much choices out there now for recycled printed notebooks and things, or just if you do print, make sure you print it both sides, or I often, if I print something, I use the back then to write notes and that during meetings and stuff. So yeah, I like that sort of lots of little simple tips. Finally, what would you say is your top business eco tip?
Always try to be better than you were yesterday. I've printed things that had plastic finishes on them before because I didn't know any better, but it's okay. You learn from it, move on, and you do better than that before. Sustainability is a journey. It's not this purity contest of who can be this perfect vegan, never using like gas or anything. Like if you're doing all those things, great, but it's not realistic or sustainable for everybody to do that in their current life structure. So really just be better than yesterday, be open to learning, and yeah, just try to do what you can without burning yourself out.
Yeah, I love that. That's a really, really good tip. And that's one that anyone can pick up and follow. So I know you are planning to do a course. You're still building and working up on kind of a green web sustainable course and also a green web challenge. So if people want to do that, they can sign up to your email list on your website.
Yep. Basically. Yeah, or follow me on Instagram. I am always posting updates there, so I will definitely be posting about these things. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on the launch dates for a lot of these things. The Green Web Challenge is going to be like a 1 week kind of brief intro into green web design, and that's going to be 100% free. That's going to be much sooner than the course. And then, yeah, the course is a beast of a thing that's still coming together. So that will be launched definitely this year. We're going to shoot for the next couple of months.
Fantastic. Yeah. That sounds good. All right. So you can find Amy at Blue Raspberry. I'll spell it out actually. It's blueraspdesign.com. Sign up to her email. She sends out some great emails as well. Follow her on Instagram. I'll put all the links into the post as well so that you can connect with her that way and look out for upcoming courses. So thank you so much for joining us today, Amy. Really good to have you on the show.
Yes, thank you for having me. This was wonderful.
Yeah, and thank you for getting up early and being with us at this time, joining us all the way from the USA. So really, really appreciate your time. And to our viewers who are watching, thank you. Those who are watching the replay, keep your questions coming, and both Amy and I will keep an eye on those and respond to them as and when we can. And we'll see you same time next week. Okay, goodbye for now.